Hey YouTube, I'm gonna do this video a little different. Hopefully I don't have trouble looking at the camera. I still can't figure out where it is right here. Let's see. Let me put my finger on it and see if I can find it. Okay, it's right there. So I hope I'm looking at you. But some things happened over the past few weeks since my last video actually. Well, no, one thing happened before that video, but I said on my Facebook that I was going to talk about something I saw on TikTok where the guy was saying having emotional intelligence sucks sometimes because even when you're justified in being angry or upset with a person, you can oftentimes find yourself understanding that person. So it makes it difficult. And that's a lot of what I'm experiencing now. So I mentioned that I grew up in a very narcissistic household and I'm still in it, right? But the specific person that is the culprit of it now has a lot of things. I don't want to say too much about this person's life because it's not my business to tell. But there are a lot of things this person has gone through and apparently is still going through that not only do I understand, I can relate to on so many levels. So it's difficult in my situation, especially because I understand this person more than they want me to or realize. And because they don't want me to understand or they don't realize I understand, they don't want to let me in. I often have to choose between being understanding and protecting myself. Now, what I want to clarify is someone being narcissistic is not the same as someone being a narcissist. A narcissist will be narcissistic, but a narcissistic person does not necessarily have to be diagnosed as a narcissist. Honestly, most of us have narcissistic tendencies, and some of us are on the higher end of that spectrum and lower end of that spectrum. And then you have the people who are actually diagnosed with it, which is a neurological disconnection in their brain from what I have researched. Does that excuse people's behavior? No. To the degree of how it affects you individually. But it does explain a lot of people's behavior for when you as a person are learning to take responsibility for your life, your actions, who you allow access to you, etc. So for me, I'm in a very difficult situation. And I struggle between sharing my story, sharing my feelings, and not so much for sympathy or empathy, but really for people to understand why I make the decisions that I make. Because sometimes I absolutely have to make decisions to protect myself. And there's no way around that for me. And now that I have my daughter, I have to make decisions to protect her as well. So with this journey that I'm on, I am learning to still learn my lessons, give myself grace, and be able to protect myself. And that is really challenging to do. That is really challenging to do. I am literally going through ego death and battling a narcissistic person who is really more so narcissistic because they are likely traumatized, or they are also trying to deal with difficulty in their life as far as making decisions. And it sucks, you guys. Look, I told y'all at the beginning of this centering self thing journey that this is not roses and rainbows. I told y'all that, because centering self is not just about addressing people who mean you no good, people who mean you harm. It's not just about addressing abusive people, narcissistic people, or just people who move a certain way that ends up to your detriment. I hope that made sense. It is about facing yourself, how your actions affect other people, how your beliefs affect how you move throughout this world, what things you hold on to, that as much as people want to believe that holding on to things doesn't affect their actions, it does. Your thoughts originate in your heart, where your feelings are, which is why a lot of spiritualists will tell you that you have to get out of the mind, where the emotions affect how you react to things. I know that's kind of confusing, but basically, when you feel an emotion, it sends a signal to your brain to feel that emotion. And then your brain attempts to conceptualize it and understand it and rationalize it. And then it turns into whatever it turns into. It doesn't have to be good or bad. But so getting out of the mind and into spirit, where there is a knowing of who you are and what you are capable of, makes it a little easier. I'm not going to say that it fixes anything, because at the end of the day, being in soul or not in soul, you are in this human experience. You are in this body. You feel things, you think things, you express things, etc. So being in soul doesn't change that aspect of it, but it does change the perspective from which you approach your life in general. So I am kind of experiencing that now, where I'm learning things about myself through having to protect myself from this person. And I ain't gonna lie, I hate it. And I would not sugarcoat anything like this, like people tend to do, because it's a real journey, and it's a journey that I think is worthwhile so far. So I do want people to be attracted to trying it, but I don't want you to have this false idea of what may happen when you do try it. You're gonna feel hella uncomfortable on your centering self journey. I think I said it in my title last video. Centering self is spiritual. Whether you believe in spirituality or not, centering self is spiritual. It is not selfish like it sounds to people, because it's not just about isolating yourself and making decisions that are for you. It is about facing yourself so that you can make better decisions for you that actually consider the people around you. Hope that made sense. And I know this video is all over the place, but it's impromptu. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because I was originally going to go in a completely different direction with this video, but some things happened since I decided to make the video, so I changed directions. And that's pretty much all I have, you guys. I am going to get consistent very soon. It is coming. I can feel it. But again, I am going through ego death right now. I am in the midst of it. And I'm learning so much about myself and about what needs to be released from me that I can barely function. I have no motivation, which I've heard is a good sign when you're going through a spiritual awakening. But I I hate this part. I absolutely hate this part. I've gone through milder versions of this throughout my life, but this one I decided to go all in and dive in head first. And I think I bumped my head and it's bleeding a little bit. Anyway, you guys, I will make a formal video that's more in depth about the things I talked about in this video, as well as a lot of other things I've wanted to talk about. I also decided that I'm going to do a chart reading on my astrology channel. It's going to be my chart. I'm going to do a chart reading, and it's going to be an intuitive chart reading, which I don't see very often. I don't think I have actually seen it, if that's what they were doing. But I'm going to be doing a chart reading. If you're into astrology, definitely go follow or subscribe to my other YouTube channel. And that's going to be the next video that I put on there. And yeah, thank y'all for taking this journey with me, all three of you. If you are watching this and you are new, there is a lot more to come. So definitely hit that subscribe button. I keep saying follow like I'm on TikTok. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And like I say in all my videos, love you guys. Be good to one another, but most importantly, be good to yourselves. Mwah. I was trying to hide that stain. Love y'all.